Hi. Today I thought I'd start a new page of Heretic, which is a new project written by my good friend and excellent writer Robbie Morrison. It's a historical murder mystery drama set in the 16th century, and it revolves around the Spanish Inquisition, so it's all good fun. So I get to draw lots of kind of researchy type stuff and a lot of atmosphere. So I thought I'd lead you through my process. As we are here, we have two screens. I have my main Mac here, which has Photoshop on, and on my Cintiq, which is a Wacom drawing tablet. This is where I create the artwork physically. So here on this screen is the previous page. I thought I'd bring that up, and on the Cintiq is the page I'm going to create. So far I've got the pencils here. I've laid out the panel and I'm now doing the pencils in blue line, so I can ink over on another layer afterwards. It's all digital, this one, so yeah, it's just this goes to show my working process. So here we go. So I'm illustrating here the main character called Nicholas Agrippa. He's actually a real historical character, famed for actually getting a witch off in a witch trial. The first guy to do it. Obviously we're using a bit of artistic license here, but yeah, it serves the drama, so to speak. But mainly this character is sort of very, I suppose for want of a better word, Peter Cushing-esque, very long, thin, slender features, kind of highbrow, intelligent kind of character. So here we go, I'm doing this on the Wacom Cintiq, just penciling, here we go. It's very intuitive, it's almost like, excuse me, it's almost like penciling for real, apart from it's on a screen. So there we go. So as we can see, I'm just going to carry on doing this for the whole page. So the next time we come back to this, I'll start inking over the pencils. So yeah, I will carry on doing this. It probably takes me about an hour to lay out a whole page like this. So yep. So once I've finished all the penciling, like here, it's time to start inking. So I have everything, because it's digital, I have everything on layers. So I go on to my finishing layer, zoom in a bit, like that, and choose my inking tool, which for this project is not an actual ink pen nib, it's a pencil nib. It's a 6B pencil I'm using, which is from Frendon brushes, which I downloaded off the internet just to give me more variety in Clip Studio, which is the program I use on the Cintiq. So all I do now is, first off, I'll just go into my layouts and reduce the opacity a bit so it's not too heavy. Go back to finishes, and here we go. Time to ink. So it gives me a nice rougher line, which I quite like, because since this is set in the 15th century, it just feels appropriate that it is more, I don't know, slightly rougher, slightly more expressionistic than a smoother ink line. And it's behaving like pencil as well, and I try and make it a bit rougher around the edges, just to go with the general feel of this. And since this is all set in a, well, this scene is all set in an inn anyway, a seedy sort of inn by a harbour, it makes sense that you've got all this sort of roughness and readiness going on. So I'll just do a bit more inking here to show you what I do. But as you can see, the Clip Studio Pro and the Cintiq is a very intuitive instrument. I sound like an advert for it, but well, I do enjoy it. Not everything I do on when I'm inking is digital, but this project I just felt it was appropriate for that. So there we go. So come back in a bit and I'll have a lot more done, and yeah, I'll show you what I've done. Okay, so here is the completed black and white page now. What I thought I'd do now is, all with Heretic, I've been using a kind of a charcoaly effect for a grayscale underneath to, I suppose, emphasise its medievalness. So here's a panel I've worked on earlier, so I thought I'd do this panel and show you how I do that. So I've got an extra layer here so I don't interrupt the other artwork or anything like that. I have my very clever perspective ruler on, which is great. You do that and you create right angles, so all my lines will now fix to either the perspective part or up or down horizontally or vertically. So I go on to my pastel tool and I'm going to do this wall now, give it a nice texture. So you see how it all stays with the, just increase the brush size a bit, so it gives a variety. I'm not worrying about going over the rest of the artwork because I will erase that afterwards, but because it's on another layer, obviously I can do it without messing up the layer underneath, which would be the black and white. So I just achieve a textural thing on the wall as much as I want. I think that'll do. Blend in his shadow a bit more, like so. And there we go. And then what I do, you go in, and the clever thing is with the Cintiq, if I invert the brush like that, it turns to a rubber. And now I can rub out like that the textured parts I don't want around the picture. So I'll do that for the whole page, and then when I've finished with that, I will show you the finished product. Alright, there we go. There we go, and that is the finished page. Page 33 of Heretic.